I don't, I don't know. Gun to my head, if you had to make me guess, I think it's slightly more likely that Compass will win this than Zillow.
Okay.
Because I think if Compass loses this, they could go bankrupt.
I don't think so.
I think they could lose
96% of their listings go on the MLS, man. I mean, that's what happens. So you're saying that just 6% of their listings is going to cause them to go bankrupt?
You could look at the data that came out of this this case as well, right? And Compass, Mike DelPrete talks about it, they have like thousands of private listings.
Yeah, right? but we sell. Okay, they have what, 6,000, right?
Okay, but
okay, hold on. And the denominator is what? 4.4 million?
Compass doesn't do 4.4 million.
No, I'm talking about like of all the listings that are sold every year, they've got 6,000 out of 4 million. This is not bankruptcy territory, dude. This is Industry Relations, a podcast at the intersection of real estate and technology from an insider's perspective. Sponsored by Cotality. Stay tuned to learn more with Rob Hahn and Greg Robertson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Industry Relations with Rob and Greg. This is your host, the Notorious Rob, and as always, my amazing co-host, the fabulous Greg Robertson, everybody. Ever since we learned that you were like California state champion for karate,
that was
Taekwondo. Yeah.
Silver.
I mean, it's close enough, second place. Second best.
Second best with only two participants.
Second best in the state. Just saying.
With only two participants, yeah.
Ever since then. Oh, man. How are you, man? Thanksgiving week is here.
I know. Thank God. I can't wait. I'm trying not to work, but, I'm back in the office here.
Yeah.
I still haven't got my hair cut, man. Jeez, this is just going on.
You don't need it. Just, let the mane flow.
Let the mane flow. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And we would like to wish all of our listeners a very happy Thanksgiving.
And thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. That is something we are grateful for.
Yes.
I suppose we could do one of those shows, right? Let's just talk about what we're grateful for. Shows.
Gratitude. It's a
gratitude episode.
Welcome to a special episode of Industry Relations, our gratitude episode, where Rob and Greg spend the next 45 minutes thanking everybody.
Or just talking about what we're thankful for. Yeah. We could do that, but we're not going to. Because
on this next episode of Industry Relations.
Because there's some stuff going on that I think is worth us yammering about.
Yeah,
but before that,
I
do have to bring this up.
Okay.
Because I saw this on Twitter. I read the Substack, and it might be the most important article I've ever read. Right. And I don't know if you've seen it. Let me see if I could find it real quick.
While you're looking for it, what I thought you were going to say at first?
What?
Is that video that you shared that was on Facebook about the Polk County Association? Oh my God, dude! This, and it's on. I put it on Vendor Alley, and we'll put it in the show notes also. But this video, this guy who's the sheriff of that place, he should be in Hollywood telling stories. He should be a narrator. He should be a writer. I mean, it was 13 minutes long, but I mean, I know it was industry related somewhat, but. He's a small town sheriff.
Yep.
And it was the most compelling fucking 13 minutes.
Dude.
It was so good.
Awesome. It was so good. So good. Okay. So.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
I'm just going to share this real quick. For those of you who are on Twitter, I tweeted this out. For those of you on Substack, look for this article. Part 1, My Life is a Lie. How Broken Benchmark Quietly Broke America. Okay, it's long, but it's the most amazing thing I've ever read. Okay,
it's long, but if you're a subscriber to Rob on Substack, it's about the average.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. This is the key one right here, and then everything flows from this. I did not know this, and just like this guy who's writing it, I never questioned it. Right, which is the poverty line.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what is the poverty line? Like, I never thought about it. I know it's around $34,000 in 2025 for a family of 4, right?
Damn.
And what this guy asks is, We just like take it as a given. Like if you're below the poverty line, then, you should get benefits and blah, blah, blah. He asked, how is the poverty line calculated? And it turns out, here it is again. The U.S. poverty line is calculated as 3 times the cost of a minimum food diet in 1963, adjusted for inflation. Okay. So his point is obviously, he makes a bunch of points.
It's all about food then, huh? Interesting.
He makes a bunch of points, but I mean, that's true, right? The poverty line is 3 times the food budget for a family of 4 times, right? 3 times that adjusted for inflation. Okay. And one of the things it points out is in 1963, food was roughly 1/3 of a family's budget. Okay. Because everything else was so cheap. Right. And I think it's in here. He talks about like back in 1963, healthcare was like $10 a month.
Right.
Today, that could be the largest like expense of a family.
Shit, yeah. I mean, food is nothing. You go to Del Taco or Taco Bell and get a fucking meal for $5. Yeah.
Right. Rent back in 1960 was like you could rent an apartment for like $100 a month. Now it's $2,000. Right. Childcare, like back then, childcare really wasn't a thing because a lot of women stayed home because single income families, you could buy a house. This is a joke, right? Like Homer Simpson is a high school dropout, and his one income he has, he owns a house that, has 2 kids, 3 kids, right? Takes vacation, all this stuff. So the thing that he calculated essentially is if you were to kind of redo, like, okay, what is like the bare minimum that you need to what he calls like participate in society, right? Like have a roof over your head, feed your family, have some health care, have like telephone service, because obviously in our day and age, right, you need a smartphone, right? You need one of these things. Like my car doesn't start if I don't have this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And this is like $200 a month now on average. Versus back in 1963, you get one of those like rotary dial phones, it's $5 a month. Right, stuff like that. So he calculates, basically what he says is the new poverty line, the new kind of minimum participation society line is $140,000 a year.
Jesus Christ.
And the median household income right now is $80,000.
Right. So we're all poor.
Basically.
Well, not, yeah.
But think about it, like you and I are Gen X, right? So we're grown up. That whole thing, like 6-figure income?
Yeah. Not going to do it.
Like back then, it was like, oh my God, if you work real hard, you go to the right schools, you get a good job, and you could make 6 figures a year. And I was like, wow, I've made it. Now, you're below the poverty line.
Right.
That's effing insane.
That is insane.
And it explains so much of what's going on, right? And housing is probably the biggest issue because housing now is 35 to 45% of a family's monthly expense.
Well, that's also, and then look at healthcare too, right? I mean,
healthcare is 15 to 25%. Childcare for families with young children can be 20 to 40%.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude. Now I'm surprised we haven't had a violent revolution already.
Oh, yeah. No, I
right?
mean,
because I used to think like, oh, you're making 80,000, whatever. Like that's pretty decent. Poverty line is 32. You're making double that. Well, not if the poverty line is defined in such a way to be utterly meaningless. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's just like watching some of these, accounts on Instagram about just like hating on the boomers, right? It's like,
right.
They wanted everything, they got everything, and now it's like, they've got, and now they're reading books on how die with zero. It's like,
right.
It's like, these selfish sons of bitches are just
right.
just keep it going on, right?
The generational conflict is real.
Yeah.
It's real. And I don't know. Like, Thanksgiving is obviously here. So we're going to have families getting together, maybe multiple generations. I don't know. It might be illustrative.
I would, keep the knives away from
from Gen Z. I know. But have them be like, hey, grandma, hey, grandpa. Right? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't blame them.
$130,000 a year.
140. And that's like median. So in like more expensive cities where all the jobs are, like New York, San Francisco, it's way higher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit.
I think the first job I ever got, first job out of college, right? I had a degree, was like 25 a year.
Right.
Right. In Orange County, right? I mean, crazy.
My first job out of college I was making $35,000 in New York City.
Yeah.
I had 2 roommates, so I felt poor. But I mean, I had money to go out.
Right.
Like, I paid my student loans and I paid my rent, I had food, and then like I had money to go out and get drunk. Like, you can't do that in New York City. I don't think you could do that in New York City on 60,000, 70. I don't know. I don't know how you do it.
Well, yeah.
So anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up.
Thanks for bringing everything. Just livening things up here on the pod. Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, I want to start off dark so we could maybe end on a high note.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
That's right. That's the idea.
Okay.
So we can have something to be grateful for.
Okay.
My point though was that everyone listening should go find that article. Once again, it's called
We'll link it in
Part
the show
1.
notes.
My Life is a Lie. It's by a gentleman named Michael Green on Substack. It is 100% worth reading. So, just that I do that. We obviously have no relationship with Michael. Michael, if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, please contact Greg. If anyone else would like to sponsor the podcast, please contact Greg. Our producer will thank you.
We're taking it. Yeah, exactly.
But that was that. And of course, there are some real estate topics that we want to touch on.
Yes, right? Of course. As one does.
As one does. So, I think over the weekend, a lot of stuff came out. And I know you sent around an article. Let's start with that.
Which article I sent? Which one?
The one that we suspect might have had AI's hand in writing.
Oh. I don't know if I sent that around. I mean, that was around, right?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's been several I've read, and it has to do with some court documents, right?
That's right.
That were sent around, and part of those court documents was a strap. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. So, the context here is that Zillow and Compass are suing each other.
Yeah.
Last week was the preliminary injunction hearing. And I think it was 3 days of it, right?
Yeah.
Where they come in. Preliminary injunction, this is Compass saying, hey, judge, I know we haven't had the trial. We haven't heard any evidence. But we need you to issue this preliminary injunction and tell Zillow to stop enforcing ZLAS.
Yeah.
Zillow's obviously like, get the hell out of town. So they get together and they had a hearing. It's not like a trial. It's a hearing for a motion. Right.
Right.
And during this hearing, a whole bunch of documents
out of discovery, right?
Right, were essentially released to the public.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, so one of those things, there was email exchanges or whatever, but the main thing that I started reading about was I guess it's a strat plan or a strategy document, whatever you want to call it, that, and what others thought of like being kind of incendiary and like very smoking gun-ish and everything else. And but the people that wrote about this, you could obviously tell had an agenda, right? It's like, okay, this is all bad. That's why you should buy
Broker Public Portal.
Yeah, or Tide. Right? It's like they would go through all this stuff. That's why you need OcuCell. That's why you need it's like all these kind of things. I mean, believe me, I had to hold back of like suggesting that, a line showing should be in your next budget, right? But it was just like, I mean, I get it in a sense because there were some things in there that kind of actually brought out some stuff. And you and I have, I think, a differing opinion on this. I think it's very smart to do a strat plan. Everybody should have one. They should think about what's going to happen. And if you're worried about what, you shouldn't have anybody on that strat plan that's like, who's writing it to be kind of worried about it, about who sees it or not. I mean, this is just like suggestions. Like, if this happens, we're going to do this. I mean, you have to think about things. You're a big company and everything else. Somebody could read that as like, oh my God, in this strat plan, it says at some point, the zombies have come over the wall. We're going to have to nuke the city. And like, they've got plans to nuke the city. Well, I mean, if this happens and that happens and this happens, they've got to have some sort of plan. But it's not like, let's not jump to conclusions that this is exactly what's going to happen. Plus, there's a lot missing. I don't know. I thought it was like a no-brainer. I discussed it with somebody, and we were like, well, I mean, maybe somebody will write about it. I don't think so, but a few people did it with I thought with, as I said, agendas, and part of the RENet, the organized real estate world, is freaking out, and part of it is I'm sure Zillow would rather that document not get out there, right, and show what their if then this stuff comes out. So but yeah, I mean, that's the freak out, right? I'm not on the freak out train. I just like, they have a strategy document. Okay, that's smart. They're a big company.
Right.
Big companies do that. It's probably put together by people that have no fear of optics or anything. It's just like, and I think you want somebody who's writing that not to have a fear. Like, just give me black and white, some solutions that we can look at and think about. Maybe there'll be good ideas. Maybe there'll be bad ideas. I don't know the context it was put together or whatever, but I just didn't think it was that big of a deal. But it's turning out that a lot of people think it is a big deal.
I mean, I think it's a big deal. But, I'm still kind of analyzing. I'm still figuring it out. Because to your point, this is an old document. Yeah. What I can say about it, I think, is this. I've done strategy work for 13 years, right? And this is one of the best strat plans I've ever seen. You've now done some strat planning.
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever seen a document like this at any level of real estate?
Yeah. I don't think I could compare doing strat plans for a 3,000 member MLS to something that the resources that Zillow has. So no, I've
right.
I've never seen anything like this. No.
So I think what I can say about it is,
but I mean, I don't. Again, and there was like a lot redacted, so I don't even know.
There wasn't that much redacted.
No, yeah.
And what was redacted probably wasn't all that important. I'm just saying, like, this. Well, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. If you're gonna do strat plan, right? Like, if you are, a lot of MLS end up doing like strat retreats in like January, February. So as you're looking forward to your next strat planning whatever session, read this document.
Right.
Because this is what a strat plan looks like. Right. Because it wasn't just like a bunch of to-dos. Right? It wasn't just aspirational statements. Our strategy is we're going to be really great to our members. Like, that's actually not a strategy, but what Zillow put together, that is a strat plan. Like, you want it to look like that. Strategy, here's the environment, here's this, here's what's going on. Full analysis, what I like to call the sit rep, like the situation report. And then work plan, tactical, elements, who owns what, like.
No, I mean, again, they're a huge company.
Yeah.
They've got shareholders and employees to worry about. They should. I mean, I was surprised by how early it is. I mean, it shows how much they have their shit together, right? So
they really do.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, you wonder if like, I guess they didn't reveal Compass's strat plan. I mean, I wonder what that looks like and how kind of crazy that would look like.
Who knows? I would love to see
But I mean,
it.
it's like everything else. I mean, everybody has, what did Muhammad Ali say? Or it was Mike Tyson. Like, everybody has a plan until somebody punches you in the face.
That's right.
It's like,
until they get
it's great. It's great to plan. I think it's a good idea to plan. You should have the craziest ideas and the best ideas, all put it out there so everybody can argue and they can kind of look at this thing and go, okay, this is good. Now you have to go execute. What are we going to do, right? After we've had this exercise. Great job. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing it. So there's that, right? They're executing against this plan.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're executing everything against this plan. I mean, I think there's,
I don't know about
hints
everything.
of it. Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah,
but the
so-
recent article that just came out about MRED, like
Yeah.
that is in the plan. Like,
Well,
okay.
no, they're very, very specific about they think all listings should be, available to everybody, after 24 hours or whatever that timeline is, right? So that's what they're going to stick to. That's what they're going for.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like I said, and this is what a strat plan looks like. So if you're an MLS, you say, we want to blah, blah, blah. Then you need like, okay, here's clear action items.
Yeah,
Here's,
that's
like,
a cool
work
thing too, because
like,
you're
boom.
seeing like what ideas they have, right? And again,
Right.
they're not all going to do those ideas, right?
Not necessarily.
But you
Right.
should probably now. Oh, I've seen their stuff, so okay, how can I? Now you've got a little sneak peek in this.
A little bit.
Yeah. Now I'm going to create some. And you should, as an MLS, if this is you think is going to be a problem for you, you should probably create your own strat plan with a lot of crazy ideas, along with some good ideas, all sorts of ideas, and put it in a plan and debate it and get ready.
Sure. What I'm saying though is it's not just the ideas, right? Like this wasn't a collection of crazy ideas. Is my point.
There's some craziness in there.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is it wasn't like a brainstorm dump. It was a plan.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. Like MLSs, I've done strat planning a lot, and a lot of it, at the end of it, you end up with like a bucket of like ideas and hopes and desires, and you spend 4 hours redoing the vision statement or some shit like that. I'm saying, no. You want to spend 4 hours doing like action, like a plan,
Yeah.
like here are priorities. Here's what this looks like. Here's who's doing it. Like that's a plan, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much more there's talk about that other than if you are in the strategy game, read this document, maybe just as an example of what, in my opinion, a strategic plan actually looks like.
Yeah.
Right?
But and then also, I think you have to realize there's two sorts of things here, right? There's a plan, and I've been involved with enough product launches and had a great marketing plan, I thought. Mm-hmm. So there's a plan and there's execution.
Of course.
Right? So it's like, even if you had the most, like, the greatest plan of all time, unless you can execute on that, it doesn't mean, again, that's why I'm still not
absolutely.
I'm like wondering why people are so, yeah, they have a plan. It's all about the execution of this thing. So far, it doesn't seem like it's being, everybody talking about this plan, their plan isn't really going that well, right? They'd rather not these conversations happen.
Who knows, right? But it was a rare look, which was really nice. Look, I mean, the U.S. military is famous. Like, you want to talk strategy and strategic plans? That's a motherfucking institution that's got plan upon plan upon plan, and they're constantly refining the plan. They're war gaming. They're doing all this stuff. Yeah. And then a war breaks out, and you know what? It's like, try to implement the plan. Oh, no, the enemy doesn't want to cooperate. They did something different. We got to change and we got to adapt on the fly. And like, of course, that's just the nature of strategy and execution, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just simply suggesting as we enter Q1, where a lot of our friends and, clients and whatnot are doing that work, go read this plan. Like, maybe not for the content, for the structure, like how it's put together. Do that. That would be a good thing to do. So we'll leave it there. But the other thing that I think is worth talking about is Mike DelPrete, the tech strategist. He actually went to this hearing.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish I knew that was an option, although I probably wouldn't have gone, but it would have been kind of cool.
I knew it was an option, but I'm like, I'm not spending 3 days in New York City, and like, ain't nobody sponsored me to travel the fuck to New York and stay in. No, thank you. And I think he wrote up a newsletter, which I think is worth taking a look at. So this is a strategic analysis, the Compass versus Zillow court hearing. And I thought there's some gems in here,
Sure.
I thought we might look at it together. I mean, I think this is his big takeaway right here, right? Regardless of the case outcome, DelPrete doesn't think anything will change. What's your
This
take?
is kind of this has been that's always my default. You get frustrated with me, right? I mean, I just think inertia.
Nothing will ever change.
Nothing changes. I mean, so far, like we thought the damn lawsuit was going to, the lawsuit was going to affect what happens? People end up using more realtors and they're paying them more now. I mean, it's like, if that's the change we were hoping for, or consumers were hoping for, it didn't happen, right? So I can't disagree with him on that assumption, right? Because right now, I mean, keep going, because I have more on this, but keep going.
No, like if you think nothing's going to change, then okay. Then it's just a little circus sideshow where lawyers make a lot of money.
Isn't that what it's been so far?
I mean, I guess you could argue that. Yeah. Yeah. I think not. I think Sitzer really did change a lot of things. But
I think the changes it did make, I mean, as far as I think actually helped the industry by putting in some more transparency into the industry. But overall, though, it hasn't shrunk in the number of realtors significantly. And I know you have an argument of like, that's going to take some time. And it didn't really lower the price of commissions. In fact, it seems like there's been an opposite effect here. I'm not saying it's because of that. It might be other factors, but yeah.
Okay. So, I guess if your metric is number of realtors and the rate of commission, then yeah, nothing's changed.
So what would be the metric you would gauge this success or failure by?
The MLS loss compensation would be one.
But again, how do they get? So that happened. Did they get hurt by it, or
they will?
Are the MLSs more powerful than they ever have been? I think
you're crazy.
That's a good argument there.
Go read the Zillow strat plan. It lays it right out. MLS have been weakened because they lost compensation.
Yeah, but again, they've been granted by an AR that they now, each individual MLS has the power to kind of implement these things the way they want to. And I think that's
a change. That's
a change, yeah. And I think that
NAR is becoming relevant. That's a change.
I think that makes the that's on the plus side of an MLS being more powerful than it is lost since the compensation thing.
Okay. I mean, so I'm just saying, like, MLS lost compensation and NAR is becoming irrelevant as a result of that lawsuit. Neither of those things has affected the rate of commission or the number of realtors. I hardly grant you that. It does feel like a big change to me, but to your point, nothing has changed yet, so it's not a change. Right?
Well, I mean, to me, I guess, as a business person, I look at like, okay, do I have have I lost a lot of customers? No. Mm-hmm. Am I getting less for those? Are my customers making less money, or am I therefore me making less money? No. So maybe I'm just looking at it from a pure revenue standpoint, membership standpoint. However, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, there's going to be a lot of things there. How much money am I bringing in? Oh, looks like okay. So great. Right.
Yeah.
Now, again, 5 years from now, who knows, right? But so far,
correct. But when Trump, we'll say Trump, okay, because that makes this go down easier. When Trump printed trillions of dollars during the COVID lockdown, nothing changed. But everybody watching was like, "Oh, this is gonna cause inflation like crazy." Right? But nothing changed for like 3 years. And now here we are in 2025. It's like, holy shit, everything is incredibly more expensive.
Yeah.
Isn't that an example of this?
I thought it was
like, could you look at some things and be like,
I remember that, but
like this is bad. This is a bad change. Do you know what I'm saying? Or do you have to wait to see the impact?
I mean, again, we're just guessing, right? I mean, it might not change for various factors that happen, right? Of how these different players work, right? It
might not. To me, it's a little bit like, hey, Trump just imposed 50% tariffs on China or whatever. But the prices haven't moved, so nothing's changed. Like, give it a few months.
Okay. Well, how long do you want to give it?
Oh, man, our predictions episode is coming up, so why don't we save that for the predictions episode? I think that'd be perfect.
My thanks again for Catality for sponsoring Industry Relations. You know that feeling, don't you? As an agent, you're starting from a blank listing form. wading through endless data entry, trying to remember every tiny detail from that property tour. It's a grind that eats up your valuable time you could be spending with clients. What if you could flip the script? Totality is here to help with its new AI-powered Matrix Listing Manager. It's the next evolution in creating listings, built on their powerful core AI platform. Forget hours of painstaking work. Now tasks that used to take forever can be done in minutes. Their new Listing Manager uses cutting-edge AI to help agents create richer, more accurate listings so they can focus on building relationships instead of wrestling with data. Here's how it works. An agent can start a listing right from their iPhone with the MLS Touch app. They can use their voice to add notes as they walk through the property and let the AI automatically tag photos and capture room dimensions with incredible accuracy. The best part, everything captured in the field syncs instantly, so it's waiting for them back at their desk. And because it's available as a standalone module, it can integrate with any MLS platform, giving MLSs and brokers the flexibility to populate listings across multiple MLSs while keeping all their data in one place. MLSs, reach out to your Totality rep today and get a demo. Thanks again to Totality for sponsoring industry relations. I think two big companies like this, especially with their acquisition of Anywhere, I think in the end, like minds are going to agree. Let's compromise. Hopefully, they compromise and come up with a plan. And they're going to announce some Zillow Compass partnership that's going to, part the heaven.
Okay, so I think let's talk about that. I think the outcome of this case will change a lot. So I don't agree with DelPrete, right? But let's actually sort of gameplay this out.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to close this off for a second. I'll give you kind of why I think that, and then you could push back and tell me, where maybe I'm not seeing it right. I think if Compass wins this case, wins this hearing, this preliminary injunction, then I think Zillow is going to have to do a massive strategic change, right? Because what that injunction means, the court's going to go tell Zillow, stop enforcing ZLAS.
Until the trial.
Until I lift the injunction. But yeah, pretty much until the trial.
That's what it's for, right?
That's pretty much what it's for, right? Yeah. The trial could be 3 years, right? 4 years. I mean, it's the courts, the wheels of justice turn very slowly, if at all. I don't think Zillow could go 3 years without enforcing ZLAS, right? Especially to your point, Compass is buying Anywhere. And one of the things that becomes obvious, and Zillow's been sort of openly talking about it, they can't allow this contagion to spread. DelPrete talks about that in his article, right? Like they wanted to stomp it out, and if they couldn't stomp it out completely, they wanted to contain it to like just Compass, right? And maybe like Howard Hanna, right? Because we know Hope, right? Okay, well, if you have 3 years of non-enforcement, then I think everybody jumps in that game. Right. I mean, I would have said Anywhere, but now Anywhere is probably going to jump in that game either way. Home services, EXP, real brokerage, LPT, like all the bigger brokerages, I think all jump into this game. We know that Douglas Elliman already did. Right. And maybe mid-size, like regionally powerful brokers, Carolina One or Real Estate One, one of these guys, like those guys jump in this game. I think if Zillow is prevented from enforcing ZLAS, then private listings become the norm.
Yeah, I totally disagree. Idea, first of all. I mean, so I don't think, just because, Robert is very charismatic. He's, he can, take that down to an agent level and make a convincing statement about doing this. They've got incentives, I'm sure, up the wazoo for his agents to do that. But at the end of the day, the goddamn thing doesn't make any sense, this 3 p.m. I mean, it just doesn't. It's, all the studies are showing that listings that go onto the MLS sell 17%. In San Francisco, the latest one was like, I think over that, 22% more than if they were just exclusive, right? So I just don't, at the end of the day, I think the consumers are going to wake up from this Jedi mind trick that they've been lulled into. And I don't, and as... who was said? I think, James, of course. James have said, I mean, there's a lot of Compass agents that think it's a stupid idea. I don't think this is like, we're keeping the bottle on this great. If it was a great idea and everything else, fine. But I just don't think the fundamentals of this offer, this 3-point marketing plan are really solid. enough where it's going to take off like that. I mean, I just don't. I mean, 94% of the listings, according to Compass, go on the MLS anyway, right? So it's like, what are we exactly fighting for, right? I mean, just because Compass is able to execute this better doesn't mean that everybody else can, right? I mean, I think there's going to be pocket listings. There always have been pocket listings. There always been office exclusive. But as far as like, billboards going up, like, go to Compass first to see this. Like, say, go to AXP first to see this. Like, go to Doug's. I mean, it's a zero-sum game.
No, but those will pop up, right?
Again, I don't think it's going to be some sort of like run to, we're running to this strategy. I mean, it's just faulty. Again, if I sign up for a Compass agent, they say, let's try it private for a while and we'll see if we can get the right buyer. And I'm like, okay, they come back, you got full offer. I would go, well, fuck. Let's put this on the market. I mean, it just, in my head, I can't wrap my head around the consumer that's really going. I mean, again, there's always going to be people that really, highlight or value certainty and speed, right? Sure. Okay. But those exist now. This is not, not everybody mostly wants to get the best they can out of it, right?
I feel like you're reading the article that I wrote about the SFAR research. If that's so true, then why do you need a rule?
Yeah, again, you go down that libertarian path. I mean,
no, but like what you just said, like, hey, you could do whatever the hell you want, but it doesn't matter. The consumer's gonna reject it. It's a really dumb idea. Then why do you need a rule?
Well, I mean, because an MLS is a cooperative, right?
No, why does Zillow need a rule?
Yeah, I mean,
if that's true,
yeah,
right. So that's one. In my mind, the reason why I'm saying this PI hearing is actually important is because if Zillow loses, so if Compass wins and gets the injunction, then I think Zillow has to completely switch.
Well, hold on. No, if
Compass wins and the judge says, "Hey, Zillow, no more enforcing ZLAS,"
so take away the injunction, take away it, right? The ban or whatever.
Or
if Compass wins,
if Compass wins, then basically judge doesn't mean Zillow loses. It just means the judge says, "Hey, Zillow, you can't enforce ZLAS until
the lawsuit,
until we're done with this."
Yeah.
Then I think Zillow has to switch strategically because they can't wait 3 years and watch this proliferate.
Right, and they'll probably write up a strat plan for that too.
I'm sure they. In fact, I'm 99.9% sure Zillow already has that strat plan in the file somewhere because I respect them as an organization.
Yeah.
On the flip side, if Compass loses, so if Zillow wins this preliminary injunction motion, then Compass has to change.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think at that point, Compass is in deep trouble.
Well, he said in the the things and all. Well, this is crucial to our success, right? I mean, if he's hanging on to that thread, oh my God,
right?
They should fire that guy immediately.
Okay, well, I mean, if that's your perspective, if they lose this case, then I think Compass has to completely pivot.
Okay, so let's do this
because again, I don't think Compass could last 3 years. Right? Until the case is resolved.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, they'd have to come up with some sort of hopefully there'd be a I would hope they would both come together and come up with a compromise. That would be the
and I want to explore that with you. Yeah. But so that's why I'm saying I don't think I disagree with DelPrete in the sense that I think this hearing is really important. In fact, I think the outcome of this hearing might be more important than the outcome of the actual case. Right, because I don't think either fighter can survive the next 3 years if this goes against them.
No, I don't. I disagree with that. I mean, they're both smart. They're both smart companies. They're going to have, as you said, contingency plans already written up for this. They're going to do that. They're going to go to the playbook, work with that playbook, and go. Right. I mean, this was they're not that. I mean, they're not going to put all their eggs in one basket here. Right. There's plans within plans within plans, I'm sure, and all this shit.
Sure, but Zillow's going to, pull out the contingency plan, right? We lost the PI contingency plan. But we could reason out like what the elements of that plan would be, right? It's not going to be all listings must be on Zillow within 24 hours or they're banned. No, because that's what the court said, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be, all right, we're not going to have to live with private listings, right? So maybe they create some product, some new thing.
Well, no, I mean,
and they'll pivot.
DelPrete kind of like puts it out there, right? I mean, I would, if I'm Zillow, I would do some consumer plan campaign, right? Just he had a video, an example of like
Right.
of something done in the Australian market.
In
right?
Australia, yeah.
Yeah.
Simple, positive, and powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just boom, 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 right? Okay, so this isn't working. Now we have to educate the consumers. And they've got tons of fucking data to show. Did you know that according to 3 studies, your house is going to, I mean, it is, they got to break the spell of this thing of like, we're going to sell your house like a celebrity sells their house. I mean, it's such a load of crap. Yeah, I don't think, I think they're both going to, whatever happens, both will adjust for sure. Here's what I do want to know. We haven't had one of these in a while. We may be on the same thing. Who do you think is going to win in this thing? Do you think Compass is going to win, and I'll make a guess, okay, and then we'll put a steak dinner on it again.
Oh man, I don't know. I'll be honest. Like, I've been getting hammered by both sides on this, right? Because their PR machines on both companies are like a full blast.
Yeah, right? Yes, they are.
And I'm kind of like, I care, but I don't care, right? Like, I'm not a party. I'm not Compass. I'm not Zillow, right? What I care about is what's the implication of all this to the rest of the industry, right? And to the way things will be done going forward.
Yeah, but this is industry relations, and we make steak bets all the time.
I mean, look, it depends on who I spoke to last, I guess.
Yeah, no, that is a big thing, yeah.
Because if you talk to the guys like out of Compass, like, it's a slam dunk. They won. If you talk to the guys at Zillow, it's a slam dunk. They won, and Compass had a terrible week. So it's like, I don't know. Gun to my head, if you had to make me guess, yeah. I think it's slightly more likely that Compass will win this than Zillow.
Okay.
Because I think if Compass loses this, they could go bankrupt.
I don't think so.
I think they could lose
96% of their listings go on the MLS, man. I mean, that's what happens. So you're saying that just 6% of their listings is going to cause them to go bankrupt?
You could look at the data that came out of this this case as well, right? And Compass, Mike DelPrete talks about it, they have like thousands of private listings.
Yeah, right? but we sell. Okay, they have what, 6,000, right?
Okay, but
okay, hold on. And the denominator is what? 4.4 million?
Compass doesn't do 4.4 million.
No, I'm talking about, like, of all the listings that are sold every year, they've got 6,000 out of 4 million. This is not bankruptcy territory, dude.
No. You're totally misinterpreting the metric. This has never been about like anything other than recruiting and retention. Okay. Like, by giving their agents this like tool, right? This extra QR code or whatever, they're recruiting agents, right? And it is a story that's pretty compelling, which is why Dwiggins, our friend Dwiggins, is so against this, right? And I think he said publicly, like at a CAR event, right? If this goes through, if this becomes the norm, then small brokers can't survive. They can't compete because they can't hold on to their agents, right? That's always what this is always been about, right? Compass is acquiring anywhere. That entire deal maybe doesn't make a lot of sense if you're not allowed, if like Zillow's like, we're just going to ban y'all, right? And you could say it's 8,000. And this is the counterfactual, right? And this is where the Zillow strategy thing all comes into play. Zillow's looking at this going, if it's just Compass, it's actually not that big a deal. To your point, they have 6,000 out of whatever, 4 million, right? Zillow's concern is it will not stay just Compass. The infection will spread. The contagion will spread. Okay. Now they have to be thinking it will not be just Compass. It's going to be Compass plus Anywhere, the new Compass. And then Home Services joins in, and then Keller Williams and Remax and EXP. And now that's a real contagion, which is why they're going so hard at it, right? On the flip side, if Compass loses this, now all their agents have to go to their sons like, so we can do this 3 p.m. thing, but you're not going to be on Zillow.
Well, they say that now, though. There's like
they're supposed to say that now.
No, a lot of MLSs make them sign. Like Bright makes them sign an agreement that says
Sure.
this will not be on here. Blah blah blah. So I mean, they're used to that.
Sure, but
I don't
so
think
if they're
that.
if
I
they're
don't think
forced
that's a
to do
death.
that,
I don't think that's a death blow to them.
I'm saying it makes it super hard.
I mean, they're
Like,
they're
what's
going
special then?
They're going with a headwind right now, right? I mean,
No, Compass doing fine right now because everyone's kind of like this up in the air.
what are you talking about? That's what Robert. I mean, you have to prove that it's doing you harm.
Yeah,
if Compass is doing
keeps...
fine, they're going to lose this because they have to
Correct.
show harm.
And that's
right?
why I've said like just slightly more likely, because I think that's the argument.
I mean, you got to think though, like Zillow knows the consequences, and Compass knows the consequences.
That's right.
Fucking Jeremy and Robert have to be fucking at the Ritz Carlton in New York, having a drink, going, come on, dude. I mean, both of them don't want to fucking lose this. There's a lot at stake here.
Sure.
It seems like this is the primo time for to make some deal. Now I will say, I'll give you my prediction. I think I would probably, and DelPrete goes into this a little bit too, and I'd thought this before, not to take it away from Mike, but storytelling, right? I always, to me, I'm that kind of person. It's like, to me, it's all about copywriting and storytelling, right? And I know how Robert is. Robert is he's an orator. He is a communicator, bar none, right? He is a what do they call that? Cult of personality, right? He is that.
Yeah.
I've never got that vibe from Waxman, right?
No.
Right. And then there's clarity of message, right? We're trying to do the best Compass has more of a clarity of message of this, inside baseball shit we talk about. Like, well, if it's this, it's that. It doesn't qualify for this, it's that, that kind of thing. Right. I wasn't in the courtroom. If I was Mr. Waxman, I would be all about, we're just fighting for consumers' rights to see every listing in the country. We think that we're championing the American dream. I would keep it on that kind of thing. Sure. Just transparency. I'm afraid if the lawyer on the other side got Jeremy to start tap dancing about all the different loopholes and the different things and everything there, it could confuse things, right?
But that's what DelPrete points out, right? Because under that, it's like, well, but we're okay with actual exclusives. Well, how are you okay with actual exclusives? You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, I would probably just on the clarity of message part, and again, I wasn't there, but just listening to everything out there, I think storytelling wins the day, and I give it a little edge towards Compass as well. Even though personally, I'm more of a champion towards, I think this exclusive listings is just nonsense. So,
sure, all right. So, let's move on because we're kind of getting towards the end of our hour.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah.
You mentioned a compromise.
Yeah.
Let's hear the idea for compromise because I'm having a real hard time seeing the compromise without at least one of the two companies massively and significantly changing like a lot about them, right? Business model, recruiting strategy, whatever it is. Like one of the two would have to like really change in order for there to be compromise. But you're more of a peacemaker than I am. How do you think these two could compromise? This is before the decision, because after the decision, the leverage swings so far, right, to one side or the other.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
I think the compromise that I would put in place is I would say, listen, this is a big deal, as you say, for both of them. The first thing I would do is just get some more time, right? So I'd say, listen, Zillow has agreed to be in talks. Zillow and Compass have agreed to talk this throughout, and throughout this talking, in good faith, we're going to keep, we're not going to do this.
Enforce ZLAS. Okay.
We're not going to enforce ZLAS while both parties can come up with a mutual, it's good for the industry, it's good for the consumers and everything else. This is a big enough deal for America to kind of do that. But I'm with you. I don't know what that looks like. And I think they're going to need some more time here because they're just right down the fucking middle right now. But if the stakes are as big as you say, I mean, if they're thinking the stakes are as big as you say, then I think it's just a matter of like telling the judge that they're going to reach agreement to cut that off and negotiate in good faith for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
I mean, it's basically what happened to the goddamn the budget that kicked it to January, right?
I guess. I mean, my mind went to much darker places, but yeah, I mean, I guess, feels a little bit more like Israel, Palestine. Like you could buy some time, but
because
like, what's
I mean,
the compromise
what's going to
like?
happen is going to be. It's not only with Zillow though, in a sense, because now that every MLS is different, he's going to have to battle that 512 times out there, right? With the way that every MLS wants to handle exclusive listings, right? So is he going to sue 50 MLSs while he's doing this as well? I mean, it's a larger thing that even if Zillow says we're not putting on there, they're going to still have problems with every MLS.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I mean they do now.
I refer you to the Zillow strategy plan. That just literally says MLSs will all fold.
That's what they think, right? I mean,
that's what they think, and I think they're right.
But they have actually, I think, don't they have 3 options? One of them they fold. One of them it's kind of back and forth. It's like a middle ground, and one of it's not just one thing.
There was a pretty high level environmental analysis. Like large brokers have all the power, so the MLSs fold. Yeah.
Again, maybe, right? You should plan for that. You should kind of gameplay that. But I mean, I happen
to agree with that analysis.
I don't think right now Justin up in Northwest MLS is ready to fold. I don't think.
We'll see after Anywhere gets acquired by Compass.
I don't think Bright. I don't think any. Well, Northwest
when Compass
MLS
owns a third of your company.
Yeah. Again, Northwest MLS doesn't have to worry about those things because
Northwest MLS is owned 1/3 owned by Anywhere.
So 2/3 owned by independent brokerages
that are very large and would benefit from a private listing network.
Maybe.
So, maybe Justin doesn't. He'll be like, "I retire. I'm out." Like that could happen.
I think I wouldn't be ready to. I mean, if
so, okay,
I thought when I read the document there was like 3 scenarios. It was like they fold a lot of MLSs, some fold, some don't. I mean, I thought there was several things, not just MLS is going to fold. There was several kind of output.
I don't remember that, but okay, it doesn't matter. What's the compromise? Let's try and be peacemakers. I have one.
Right.
I have one idea.
You start, and then I'll think here.
Right. The only thing I could think of a compromise is when you get right down to it, what the brokerages want is no days on market, no price changes, and they want all the leads. Right? So maybe Zillow creates a exclusive section that gives them that.
Right.
But in exchange, because Zillow's got to get something out of it, in exchange, maybe it's like these listings aren't free. Like you got to pay Zillow somehow.
Yeah. So, what could be,
right?
Now that you say it that way, because I've been involved in some meetings and, I was very surprised that a broker said that, and he was an agent said this, and I think he was a Compass agent. He said if the MLSs or Zillow would just compromise on days on market, this would never be this wouldn't be an issue.
I think the price change history is also kind of important because one of the big uses of 3 p.m. is quote aspirational pricing, right?
Yeah, right. It's okay, but agents have to deal with that all the time anyway, right? Put it up as for a large amount of your hand, and then they wait fucking 11 days, and it's like nobody's doing this thing. So I don't think that's as big as days on market, right?
No, I'm saying
they don't want to be penalized for having aspirational pricing.
Right.
And the aspirational pricing is going to happen all the time anyway, man.
Dude, aspirational pricing is really dangerous if the price change information is online.
I don't know. Shoot your
but
shot.
That's the whole premise,
Shoot your shot, right? I mean,
but that's why I think that's important.
This is what I would say. A compromise, right? So it's
compromise.
Like, listen, I tell you
no
what.
Days on market.
I tell you what. We're going to take
changes.
days on Zillow off of Zillow because that's what they have. They have days on Zillow.
That's right.
Right. So we are going to do that, and we are also going to, if you have some agents that are flex partners, the referral rate is not going to we'll give you a favorable referral rate for Compass agents. Dunzo.
Or something like that, right? In other words, like Zillow makes money from private listings, but Compass and the big brokers get something out of it. right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the compromise.
Yeah.
You know?
So days on Zillow off, right? Or they come up with a new calculation. It's like days since the last price adjustment, right? I don't know.
No, I don't think you could do that.
Okay, so days on Zillow gets off there, and they give a favorable split or cut to Compass agents.
And no price change history.
I know, I'm not saying that.
Okay, I think that has to be part
I
of
think
it.
you start somewhere. I wouldn't start with that. Fucking no. I mean, I want something to go back and forth with for sure.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a non-negotiable. Right.
Well, again, then we go to war. Then we go to war. Is that worth going to war? I don't think so.
Here's another one. Do you allow Zestimates?
Of course. Zillow, I mean, Zestimate is what made that brand. They're not fucking. That's.
But
that's
these
a
are
hill. That's a hill they're going to die on.
It's a new product. We're trying to compromise.
That's a hill they're going to die on.
I don't know, man.
Zestimates, yeah, it's a hill they'll die on.
Like if you could put a Zestimate or a private listing, I think that's a no deal.
Well, again, I'm not saying these are private listings, really, right? I mean,
no, we're talking private listing.
I'm saying, you know, what I've heard from this agent was like, if you just took away days on market, and you're saying, and you, let's say price changes to whatever, then they wouldn't give a shit about exclusive listings because that's what they've been worried about is days on market, right? So exclusive listings, just they can handle the day, you know, the 24-hour period or whatever it is with the MLS,
maybe.
right?
Maybe.
I mean,
you know,
let's just get this done. Let's just remove the motivation for this. Why are you doing this? Well, we want to test prices and days on market, you know, fucking whatever. Okay. Compromise. We'll take off days on market. We done? Deal?
No deal.
Okay. Well, I mean, we see what happens.
Right. So then, I mean, we're trying to find a compromise. Like I'm because the flip side of it, what the brokers would give up is this notion that like Zillow can't make money from that. Right. So here's the example, okay, that I was thinking of with this. So I happen to know a bit about new construction on Zillow. Right. So builders like Pulte or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They can pay Zillow directly for something called, I think it's called communities, right? And so the idea is like, hey, I'm a builder. I'm building this subdivision over here, right? I can buy, like, essentially advertising placement on Zillow.
Right.
All the leads come to me, right? There's no information, you know, and with new construction, it's obviously a little easier because there's no days on market, really. It's more like, here's a plan, right? Or here's a spec home. But they pay Zillow for that, right?
Like
maybe it's something like that. You know what I mean?
I think any agent can showcase their listing now, right? I mean, that's a product.
I don't believe Zillow allows an agent to say you cannot sell leads from my listing to premier agents.
Oh no, I don't know about that, but they can.
Right.
Well, I don't know if that's part of showcasing. If you upgrade your listing, does that mean all leads come to you also?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to find that out.
Yeah, let's find out. But I don't believe Zillow has that product. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're Zillow, you're listening to this. If I'm wrong about that, maybe that's kind of like.
What about this?
The compromise?
I'm going back and forth at this. So how about? I know we're getting close to time here.
I know, really. We're trying to make peace on Earth, so
peace.
this
how
is
about
important.
This? How about like on Zillow we take away, and to me this could be Zillow wide. It's not just for these guys. We're gonna make a new policy. Days on Zillow goes off and price changes go off. Right. Okay. On Zillow.
Right.
Now, not off the MLS. Right.
Okay.
So if you go to a realtor and want a CMA. You're going to see that shit. But publicly, out to the public, no. That might be something there, right? Because you have to hire a professional to kind of do a CMA that would have that stuff. It's not going to be it's not going to be in the yeah, you'll have to compete with the listing presentation later on. But not even at a listing presentation because you got the listing, it's going on Zillow. You put your aspirational price up there. It fucking doesn't sell. Right?
Drop it, right?
Drop it, whatever, right? And then, you know, but if you're talking to an agent who has access to MLS, you put all that information is still captured by the MLS. And only an MLS, a professional, if you hire a realtor, I mean, if it's a buyer's agent, you have to sign an agreement now. Then you can get that information, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's a good compromise, right? And then it's like, you know, if again, I just don't, we'll see, right? We'll see, because all they've been talking about is days on market and price whatever, and then once that's like, well, we really thought about this now. That's probably what's going to happen, but in the spirit of compromise.
All right, let's hope that Compass and Zillow reps are listening to us and taking these peacemaking ideas back to their respective sides. Because
did they say when they're going to announce the thing?
No, I don't.
How long
so.
do you think it happens on these things?
I'm gonna guess like maybe by the end of next week, because Thanksgiving holiday this week. Preliminary injunctions are an emergency injunction. Like this, the whole premise is this is so urgent that we can't wait for the trial.
Yeah.
So I don't think the judge is going to take forever to issue a decision.
So if it goes against Compass, what is your prediction on how fast they go bankrupt?
Like a couple of years, 2-3 years.
Okay.
But it's going to be bad if it goes against Compass, I think. And if it goes against Zillow, then it's going to be bad for Zillow. Like they're going to have to pivot, and they're going to have to maybe come out with this like compromise product, right? And maybe they've already thought of it and they already have a full plan.
Yeah, I just don't. If this idea, this 3 p.m. was so, I'm just not impressed by it that it's going to be.
I know you keep saying that, and then you keep demanding rules against an idea that's so unimpressive, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Bad actors, man.
It's like you don't need a rule against like getting underpaid.
Yeah, I wish we lived in the world you think we live in, man.
We're going to put in a rule that you are not allowed to, like, you must date pretty women. Like, you don't need that rule, man. Like, everyone's going to do it if they could. So, anyway, all right. We'll have that argument another time. So real quick.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So everyone knows our holiday schedule is going to be a little bit interesting. I think we're doing a year in review, and then we're going to do a predictions in the next few weeks. So if you have predictions for us as well, please send them in or put them in the comments. We'd love to hear what you guys are thinking as well as we prep for those calls. All right. Thanks everyone for listening to us yammer. Take care, everybody. Ciao.